U.S. government debt is now the highest in history. The last time U.S. debt was this much was during World War II, when military spending hit record highs. It's now more than $34 trillion, and that number keeps climbing. Our debt could balloon past the point of no return in 20 years, according to some experts, and it could send the biggest economy in the world into a financial crisis. So how do we get out of this, and what happens if we can't? I'm Layla Maiden, and I cover all things investing and money. We measure debt by comparing U.S. economic output, so the amount of goods and services we produce each year, by the amount the government owes the public. Based on this measurement, we're about 96% debt to GDP. And what funds the government is taxes from our economic output. And those taxes are needed to fund things like schools, roads, military, social services like Medicare and Medicaid, Social Security, and even interest on debt. And when we spend more than we earn, we must borrow, which means our debt continues to increase. And now our debt is just skyrocketing. So how did we get here? In the early 2000s, debt began to build because of military spending with the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. Then it accelerated with the 2008 financial crisis. Markets crashed, people lost jobs, and there were fewer taxpayers. After that, spending programs ticked up, and then the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act further reduced tax revenue. And finally, the pandemic hit. The U.S. needed to borrow even more money to cover COVID relief spending programs. And all of this creates a deficit, which is when you spend more than you earn and you have to borrow the difference. And this is why the debt continues to accelerate. So who is the U.S. borrowing money from? First, we need to understand how it works. Every time the government needs to borrow money, it doesn't turn to the bank like you and I. Instead, it turns to the public market to borrow money from the public. Individuals, organizations, and institutional investors can choose to lend the government money by buying notes, treasuries, and bonds. These can be purchased at banks, brokers, and from the government itself. Think of it as a promissory note from the government that it will pay you back that debt with interest. That interest is called a yield. Investors have bought these bonds because historically the U.S. economy and currency have been strong. So investors buy them because they trust they'll get their money back,